I'm really doing being better than right? It's all out.
I've been sitting all day.
Well, I have too. I've been trying to
Well, it was a little different.
everybody passing.
So is there an extra day?
Yeah, 100 people do it. I got caught in Arizona one time.
And you have to come up with one.
Yeah. I mean,
Down,
but you don't have to.
His turn. He was the Asian caller. That's what we're pulling over today. His car. So his was white bumper to bumper. We didn't have all cars. No light.
Oh, no, this is over there by the nature side, right? Yeah. Well, they found a dead body. Yeah.
Another one in the garden.
It'd be fair for you to get the guy in front of me and the one behind.
Well, it's usually on the end, so they have their clocks, and over there.
Wow.
So it's on the
Wow.
score. But we should behind it,
Ferns and stuff you do that too.
which is fine.
So pretty much
To
every
the judge on.
And it was cold though.
175 miles down the He said, you know, we got a credit card machine and I got an info. We take
There's about 12 of those.
Yeah, because one of
Yeah.
I told you, you're gonna have to come over. My stuff is
in that
He checked
box.
into Raymond RV.
Of course, I left the door open.
Yeah, you read them right out there. There's a lot of them that really run fast.
It's gonna happen all one night.
Well, I'm gonna sell that.
It's gonna be tough. Yeah, I know. That's what I thought.
Because it's self-contained, they have to have Somebody else carry the tank with water.
The only legal way you should carry around is a rack. So they can see it through the window.
Yeah.
Everybody up there's got
We all smell the same. We're in
He
those
told me they had
bells.
a
Not tomatoes.
Indian riot. They passed a law.
Used to paint with that.
Reservation.
They are just.
You get on.
It's 6:15, Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather here, Lord. We ask that you be with us and give us the wisdom to make the best decision for this community, Lord. We ask that you be with this nation, and as we go through this election process, that we make the best decisions for our community. Lord, we ask that you be with our servicemen and women, our first responders, and our law enforcement as they do their duties. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, move to item number 4, citizens' comments. There's limited to 3 minutes per individual, any subject of which the city of Big Lake has the authority. However, no discussion or action by law may be taken on the topic unless properly posted on a future agenda. Anybody have anything? If not, we'll move to item number 5, discussion action on the wastewater treatment plant expansion.
You want to go ahead and do that on that right now? I'll do that right now, and then you have to okay. Today, we don't have no payments or anything on any of these projects, but I'll just give you a quick rundown. Today, they poured all the concrete in the basin, started at 5 a.m., finished about 2 o'clock. Tomorrow, we do have a meeting with Keystone and the gentleman doing all the SCADA. And all of the gated tomorrow at noon. So all the engineers will be here today and all of the individuals from each company. That's going on in the wastewater treatment plant.
We'll move to, anybody have anything else on it? Not, we'll move to item number 6. Discussion and action on the Pennsylvania project, and yes, it is complete.
Complete, other than the punch list that's been given. And they will also be here tomorrow to verify that everything that was required in the punch list is completely finished.
Did they even do 12th Street, or is it going to the other ones that are doing it now? Pennsylvania, did they finish up to 12th Street on Pennsylvania?
They finished through 12th Street to the county park.
Yes.
Okay, it's hard to tell the.
Oh, yes, yes,
That intersection is now concrete,
Okay.
and this project completed that.
yes. And
So
spoke.
the concrete's there.
Yes, yes.
So they just went up to the concrete.
No,
That
they
were-
replaced that whole,
Yeah, I know, a long time ago.
they poured new concrete in that intersection.
Yeah, I know, but a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
also
that's
saying,
Yeah.
This Pennsylvania
But they didn't
part,
put asphalt on top of the concrete.
No,
Oh,
no.
yeah, no,
This-
the concrete's been there for a while. Yeah, I'm with you.
And then to address the drainage still in that area where the county is going to go in and
Yeah, they're
dig
gonna
that
have to
ditch
dig
a
that out,
little
so
deeper and all that to.
Because a lot of times it
Save on that.
backflows is what it does.
So we talked to them and they're gonna get that done.
But we used to ask them to do that, but they said that, see, those concrete are all commissioner that was over that before.
Right. Well, I told him it sure will save all of the work we've all put in on these roads.
Well,
the
yeah.
costs and everything.
I mean, you
Them
know, it's a
too.
big old hump right there, and it just backs right back up in
Yeah.
the street. Yeah, silly.
anything else in Pennsylvania?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we move to item number 7, discussion action on 12th Street project.
Okay, should be in the fine grading phase, one side in preparation for priming. They should be laying asphalt either next week or the first week of November. Again, they'll be here tomorrow and make sure everything's going along as planned. That's all we've got.
Anybody have anything on 12?
It sure does make it rough to go both.
I'm sorry?
Them tore up both sides, to go both.
Both.
Yeah.
It makes it rough for people to go both because they have Montana cut off where you can't get on to 12 from
Yeah, I
Montana.
had somebody tell me about that today.
Okay.
And so they have to go down by the
Oh, wow.
football deal and come all the way around and then they have to.
I'll see if we can address that.
It's crossable, but,
Well, with a four-wheel drive. and
Also see
unless
this,
you want-
yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
On that
I
inside.
got a post on Facebook today that
You
you
think
may not
one
know
up
about.
there.
Like they used to.
I've got that on my notes. I will address that with John
put some.
on them tomorrow. For
I mean,
sure.
if you have a low car, you don't really want to, the pickup will go over it.
Yeah.
Right,
The
okay.
car probably wouldn't.
I got my golf cart over it, but
Well, I could get mine
I was
over
out there today,
too.
but I didn't notice that because I didn't drive up.
It wouldn't cost me as much to fix my golf cart as it would my car.
right.
Okay, I will take care of that. Thank you very much.
When I was up voting today, that was one thing the ladies talked to me about is getting in and out right there on Montana. You can't just cross Montana to stay on Montana. You have to go on 12th Street, one way or the other.
Okay, I will definitely address that, in the morning. I'll call John before he even gets here. Okay, we'll do that.
All right. Item number 8, discussion action on account number 05009-0380.
I didn't have anything, did you? Oh, yeah, I missed it.
Well, no, I mean, that's just in
This just hit right?
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, okay, well, I was looking at the budget. Okay, got it.
Sure, you might need to help with this one, but the hospital has had a high water bill on just the 1 month.
Yes, sir.
And the amount of, the water alone was $4,412.04. And, they've done some checking,
Can you speak up? I can't really hear you.
okay, they've done some checking, they changed the meter, and the bill, even prior to the meter change, looked like it had dropped back down to normal usage. We don't know what happened, why the usage was so high and then dropped back down? Jonathan, can you fill us in on anything?
Sure.
Maybe what,
I mean,
what did y'all
all,
find anything?
we didn't find anything as far as, I mean, this is in the old care center. And if there's a big leak, I mean, there'd be water somewhere or water underneath it. And we even went down into the basement. And it went from an average daily usage of 560 to almost 20,000 a day to end up with that bill. And I don't know what happened. And historically, it's never, it averages about 560 gallons a day is what we normally use over there.
So this is not the hospital, this is
This
the
is
old.
the old care center.
Oh,
Yes.
So y'all didn't find no.
No, and I even made notes of some of the things that we had, you know, because we had a little bit of issue with the sprinkle system. I know we had to probably drain it, recharge it, but I can't imagine that being 20,000 gallons a day to recharge that. And,
so did the city check it to see if the thing was spinning or anything?
Absolutely.
Like there was a leak somewhere on our side or their side or what?
Yes, sir, yes, ma'am, we sure did.
I think a whole lot worse.
Yes, we sent, Edward out there, twice in one day. And then we said, let's go change the meter, make sure the meter is running appropriately. So then we went back and changed the meter, and then 2 days later, I went and had him check that meter. And so, when we did the meter change out from, even from the meter change out from September to, which is September the 16th to October the 6th, it had already, just the meter reading, excuse me, before the meter change out, it had dropped down to 7,400. But I went ahead and asked him to change the meter just in case. And so we did change the meter, and then it showed an average of 501 gallons, which which they would normally use. So
I have a question. You know, there was a fire hydrant there on the corner that leaked really bad for a long, long time, and it finally fixed it. Would that have, was that connected into their water line or anything?
no, it's just
Okay, I
not
just
the
knew it was leaking.
Well, did this water go through the meter?
Yes, yes, sir. That's what came
Has the
out.
meter been checked?
That's
Yeah, we sent
exactly.
it off and had it checked.
I replaced the whole meter.
Well, I
Right, but
realize
that old meter, no, I haven't sent them off. I did ask the guys how they check them, and they said they can send it in for calibration. But when we went back out there the first time to change the meter, or to get the first, and it was already back on track.
Well, that's where I'm kind of headed with this. You know, in the past, we've had a bunch of residents that's lost water.
Yeah.
And the way we presented it to them is we'll take that meter and we'll have it recalibrated. If we find an error, we will make adjustments. If we don't, and that's just the way.
Did somebody happen to leave a faucet on or?
Saying, who stays
toilet
at,
running
who stays
or
at the old building?
Yeah, I'm not picking on you.
No,
I mean, that's just the way we
fair
treated the whole community.
I just know all the time I've been here, this has been a bill that averages about $500 a month.
Yeah.
And in that month, it was $4,700. There was nothing different about how we were doing business. It was business as usual.
You have more employees staying there?
Nope, same amount.
Is the old pools being used?
No,
No,
Did it have
it's,
water or leakage or anything there?
y'all drained it, didn't you?
yes, ma'am.
Thinking so.
Yeah, so I'm at you all's mercy. I just know that this isn't normal, and we've checked everything we can and can't find anything that would support that amount of usage. And since, we've been monitoring since then, literally almost daily, we're averaging about 561 gallons a day.
So in the past, we had Terry Stevens, I remember that one time, that came with that one, and we didn't do anything with his,
We
did
had
we?
the Rodriguez's also.
And who?
Wasn't it the Rodriguez's?
I've been to drag races, I
Yeah,
can't hear.
the
Sorry.
Rodriguez's, they had a $4,200.
We're next to the Globe Yard, the old Globe House. And
Where
Pat's-
Frank's,
where Pat used to
daughter,
live.
where Pat's daughter used to live? Not, or Pat used to live, which is Frank's stepdaughter, okay.
They had one for about the same amount, but it was definitely on their side. They had a leak underneath the trailer that had run for.
So did y'all adjust
That
in
meter,
any way, form,
no,
or
that
fashion?
meter, it was obvious that that water went through that meter, and that was on their side, and so we were able to, put them on a payment schedule for, I believe we let them have a year
Yeah.
to pay that off. And they
Okay,
did.
so about, did we ever do anything with Terry Stevens? I mean, he came and asked us, but I don't remember
No,
doing anything
We
I
paid
about it.
that bill
No.
already and then came and asked us for
I'm sorry?
He
He
came
paid
and
that bill
paid
already.
that bill already,
Oh,
and
okay.
then came and asked us, hey, can y'all help me do something? And
Oh,
we did our
Okay.
paperwork.
Yeah.
But,
But there's been various complaints throughout the whole community.
Oh, yes.
the only thing that I could see us doing is possibly taking that meter, sending it off and having it tested, and if it comes back that it's not, then I don't see
Now,
there's anything.
there's only one other point I would like to add, is for some reason, that meter said exposed during this time period. I mean, I don't know if somebody could have tampered with it or whatever, and I wouldn't think that's a normal way to handle meters. But I just know as a taxing entity and the amount of money that was, I would feel I wasn't doing my due diligence if I didn't bring this to y'all's attention, because I do not believe that the water went through that meter that justified that amount. I think there's something weird that happened, and that's where I'll leave it, and it's all back in y'all's hands.
Okay, well, but in the same token, this money, it would be from the citizens and tax dollars also, so we're just.
No, I
taxing
know.
it.
I
Okay.
totally.
Okay, so you can understand
Yes.
that if we.
Yes.
Okay.
How long will it take to get the meter tested?
I've not had these meters tested before, so a year, I'd have to find out from one how long it would
Now, would they know exactly what meter they took off?
take. Yes, we have a
now?
meter number. It's tied to a specific meter number, yes.
Well, I could go with having it calibrated and see if there's any issues. Can they tell from, I mean, but if it was working when
They took it out?
they took it up, did it recalibrate itself or close a valve?
No,
or
we just
the
took it
mouse
off.
that hung up in it or something?
We just took it off, and we didn't mess with it after that. It just got put up in our storage for,
Right, I
you
understand.
know, should possibly be used somewhere else if we didn't find that it was anything wrong with it, but we can definitely have it calibrated. We can check it and see.
I think that's
You know,
probably what, to do our due diligence along with the hospital, that's probably a step that we need to take.
So can we have them, the late fees and stuff on this bill, can we just keep it as is for right now
Whatever y'all choose to do in your,
and not add any late fees?
We can freeze
Came
the bill
Yeah.
till the results come back.
Right, that's what
We paid the bill.
Oh,
yes.
I mean, I didn't wanna,
so you wasting my tax dollars now?
well, I feel like I've been remiss if I didn't go ahead. I mean,
okay.
So what do you want us to know you had paid?
So we can still send off.
Well, what I would like ideally, if you're asking, is if y'all identify that there was something weird that happened, that could be a credit for future payment or something like that.
Okay, because normally,
Okay.
normally people come in here and ask for help and they hadn't already paid, well, besides
Yeah.
Terry Stevens.
Well, they've already paid theirs.
So-
We weren't under that impression. I wasn't under that impression.
I didn't know you had already paid it.
Yes, well, they're due on the 15th, so I felt like we needed to, we put it in the AG that would pay it when it was supposed to get paid.
So we've had just 1 month that it was.
Just that one time that
Just
I've
that
ever
one
seen
month.
this happen,
Well, okay.
so.
Donna,
Jonathan, in response to your question about the tampering possibility, when they pull those meters, there is an ending meter reading on that meter that is recorded. So we would have the end reading on it, and it should match up identically to what the meter is registering. So
So theoretically, that should.
yes,
Right.
so I mean,
And I
there's
do
no
have
way
all,
we
I've got
can.
the whole work order, so I'll be able to go out there with them, and I'll find that out for sure tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did that answer that part of your question about that? Okay.
Do we need to make a motion or anything on this?
table this until,
Oh, okay, till the
meter
okay.
is,
Do we need to make a motion to freeze the
yes,
account?
you need to make a motion to do whatever you want to do with the account.
You wanna freeze the account until we?
Well, the account's been paid, there's nothing wrong with the account.
Yeah,
They're not
oh, okay,
freezing.
okay, well, you had mentioned that, so I just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's been paid, we don't have to worry, okay.
You don't have to worry about freezing,
Okay.
it's already been,
So,
So I make a motion to table this until we get back the calibration information from their old meter.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Alyssa and a second by Robin to table this item until the meter is sent off for testing and calibration.
so I'm gonna discuss it, but I didn't just get that coordinated, so.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll get back with it.
Appreciate y'all's time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me speak. You know, I'll get out of y'all's way now.
We can move to item number 9.
How are you doing?
That's your turn.
I think y'all probably already have a copy of this report in front of you. So this is going back to the September activity report. We had 68 total new reports. 67 of those were offense incident reports. 623 traffic contacts, 166 calls for service, and 12 arrests. And then you have the call type summary there that, again, is just a little bit different than what we've been seeing in the past, but because of the new system that we have in place, that's where we're at. So just an update too, the new control system should be going in within the next couple of weeks. They've been in, they've done all their measurements, this, that, whatever they're doing. So they're building the system now, and so we're anticipating the next couple of weeks that we come in. So we appreciate the help on that tremendously. And, but other than that, everything's running very well as far as I know. Nobody's told me any different anyway, unless y'all have any specific questions about anything.
Are you gonna be here for the noise ordinance thing?
Yes, ma'am.
So I see out of the most you have, the most of them are loud noise and music. 21 out of all of these, okay.
Yes, ma'am. As far as this part of it goes,
Hey, you had a good team, I stock out on the roadway. Somebody needs to work on their fences, I'm saying.
it's out here east of town. Those same cows get out here every day.
Oh, my.
It's insane. There's one cow out there that'll jump a fence, flat-footed, like it's not even there.
Yeah.
And-
My Uncle Frank had a bull that always did that. He'd always jump the fence, go see what if it was sweeter on the other side. They'd go catch him every day, finally, he said, y'all just leave him out there, no shit on both sides. Yeah. Just let him run.
There you go.
Yeah. Hell with him.
But they are working on the fences, as they find the spots that are tore up or whatever, they have been working on. So it's getting a little better, I hope.
Anybody have anything else on? Now we'll move to item number 10, discussion or action on ordinance 2011-10-01, this is the noise ordinance.
If I may very quickly, I asked that we make a change with this, and the reason behind this is the fact that when we went to a decibel reading ordinance, right? There was some research done. I know the council at the time did some research. They went out and took some sound meters and kind of did some checking and things along those lines. The problem that we're currently having, and you see the number of calls that they're going out and taking, is the fact that 65 decibel reading during the day, which I believe right now runs still.
AM to PM, yeah.
Right. Is still a little bit high. Most of it is the bass. I mean, the bass is what's going to carry and what's going to cause a problem in people's homes. But
Or tuba.
yeah, but no, if we, and what we've kind of discovered is if we were able to drop each of those by 10 decibels. So your daytime would drop 10, the nighttime would drop 10. We really feel like it would make a huge difference with the amount of bass that people are having to deal with. Because if the sound overall is lower, then that bass is obviously not going to create as big a problem.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How many tickets have you given for noise? I mean, out of these 21, do they just go there and turn their noise down and then they turn it right back up?
Here's the
Or
problem.
are they really doing something, I mean, hitting them in the pocketbooks?
They have written a few citations that I'm aware of. The problem with it is, there's like one house in particular, they're standing on the curb with their decibel meter and it's right at 65 decibels. Right at 65, right? We can't write a citation on 65 decibels because that's the reading, that's the ordinance. But that bass is still carrying across the street, and the people across the street, their little girl can't sleep. And you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Oh, I just go get me some earplugs.
Well, but see, that's where we're running into a
Oh,
problem.
I do know who you're talking about. Okay.
That 65 decibel, if people are aware of that, I don't know that they've got, you get decibel meter on your phone. You know, you can download an app, have decibel meter on your phone.
When we were buying them, they had them on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, some of the deputies may even have it on their phone, I'm not sure.
So almost every report, loud music and noise is almost on every single one. If we drop this, what is it comparable to other cities? You know?
I have no idea.
So,
And honestly, David, I mean, I know that may be a concern. I personally don't care.
No, I'm saying,
Because
are we still even changing this to 45, 55? Is that still higher?
yeah.
Is that still high?
I mean, I was just saying.
I don't think it is, quite honestly. I honestly think that when we set this, back when this ordinance was written, the attorney that was here at the time, Melanie, she had done some research with a lot of these other communities around, and that's kind of how this thing got built, right? And I think we settled on the 65 and 55 based largely on what some of these other communities had done. So that's probably in line with where other places are. I just feel like
What about
people
changing
are not going to, they don't have any common decency.
Not anymore.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care if they're disturbing someone else. They can be talked to. They can, you can go over. You can even tell them, look, yes, you're within the decibel reading here, but it's 9 o'clock at night, and these people
But as a courtesy, could you tone it down?
just turn it down a little bit,
Yeah.
and they will basically tell you to go.
And I'm sure most of these calls over and over and over are repeat people.
Usually,
I'm
yes.
almost bet on it.
And there was one situation where they went over. They wrote at least one citation, and it was just as soon as they drove away, they turned it back up for about that long. We'd get another call. By the time they got back over there, there's no reading again because they turned it down, and they're just doing it screwing with their neighbors at that point.
Can I ask you a question? You want to change the daytime to 55, why not 50?
That's up to the council. I recommended 10 decibel per, just drop it 10 on each side, just out of simplicity. But I do think the 10 would make a difference. If you as a council choose to go lower than that, or however you choose to do it, we're all for it.
Yeah, it looked like it was implemented the first time in 2013, and we just had 75 decibels with 60 feet from the point of noise. And that's whenever they issued the decibel meters, and then we said it's.
Well, prior to that, it was.
No decimals, because you and I talked about it when I went over, and we sat over and we talked about it, you didn't think we needed decibel meters at that point,
At
because
that time,
because you're afraid that the neighbors, these would retaliate against the
Well,
neighbors.
that's what a lot of people are worried about, and why we were getting a lot of calls. And so when we decided to try, like it's not just me being bitchy, to be quite honest with you.
That's black and white.
It's black and white. If you call and say, I think the music's too loud, and we can go with a decibel meter and say, well, it is or it isn't, and then they can go to whomever called if they want to be contacted. A lot of times they don't. But they can go to them and tell them, in this situation, it is at or below what I can enforce, right? And so He kind of took the gray area out of it with the decibel reading.
That's a hard call.
It is.
I mean, you know, if 65 is comfortable for one, but it ain't the other, who's to say 55 is gonna?
Well,
All
all
depends
in
on
my
how many
mind,
windows are vibrating.
Well, you know, I had a bunch
Right.
of drive-bys, but.
yeah, and
Oh.
the vehicles are the
That
hardest
guy,
one.
you know, they had those Cuban people that lived over in that little white house, you know, they had that. He got out there with the speakers like you use for ZZ Top
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and sat on a stool and played the drums,
Oh, my.
you know. I stood as long as I could, but you know, it really upset them. But you could hear it playing inside their house. It vibrated the whole house. It was inside the house. And then now the ones that we have over here, they like to do it late at night, but they like to do a lot of this, you know, with it. And then they get to singing. Well, hell, one of them can't sing or crap. But all it does is sit there and go boom, 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 boom.
And that's kind of where we're at with it. That's kind of what we're trying to reduce is that bass. And if their overall sound has to drop 10 decibels, the bass is gonna drop some, and that should alleviate most of the problem.
Yeah, I had one guy
So
said, well,
the
you're
bass is
listening to
what
good
causes
music.
the
I said, no,
problem.
not because I'm
Yeah,
only hearing
which
one
makes
part
it
of that.
seem that much louder.
I mean, have y'all put this on a decimal meter or something to see that the bass goes away with it?
Well, it won't go away. It won't go away, but it will reduce the overall sound to the point that the bass won't, I don't think will cause as many problems, say, across the street as what it is now. By theory, if you reduce the level of the noise, it should cover all
Reduce the
of
level of the bass.
it. Right, it should cover all of it.
Have they taken one of those meter, I'm assuming one of the decibel meters that was given to check, to see if somebody can turn it down to see if it's gonna work?
I don't think they've asked anybody to do that.
No.
I'm good with that too. But I just felt like it needed, the people that are complaining to me, I told them I would try to address it with the council and see what we can get done.
Well, I think that they probably need to move the decimals down, but during the day, I don't know that they should be as high, especially till 9 o'clock at night, as high as.
Well, and that's another option too, is changing the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got
You
people
could-
that
you
work
could-
at night that are trying to sleep during the day as well.
Yeah,
So-
30 minutes. That's
So, I mean-
sign up, 30 minutes.
I mean, I would be
Yeah.
more comfortable going to, 50 instead of 55. No, 45.
45.
No, hell no, not how bad it.
No, I
that's when
mean,
get
daytime.
nighttime.
A set decibel level,
Across the board.
24 hours a day.
No, what she's saying is going
Oh,
50
okay,
to
I see what you're asking, if that's what I want, no, I don't have a problem with that. But I want it low.
Well, and this is something you might want to, before you make a decision on that, this conversation in this room, us all talking, if you had a decibel meter reading this, it's gonna be about 60. This conversation, us in here talking, is gonna read on a decibel meter between 50 and 65, depending on who's speaking. But there's no bass. There's not any bass thumping in the background. And that's what is creating the problem and creating, you know, the vibration in the windows and people not being able to sleep because you hear that boom, 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 you know. So
Jeff, is there a section of that ordinance that would apply? I'd have to look at it, but there is a section, you have a copy of the ordinance? I think it's under,
well, there's a lot of stuff in the ordinance that talks about noise and how you can look at it. But the problem is when you get to violations.
the unreasonable noise, loud, disturbing, unnecessary.
Yeah, all of that is a definition of what it is. But when you get to violations.
Yeah, so actually, there are other methods of, you could include the simple definition of unreasonable noise, because what you're saying is the base level may not emit at a decibel reading that would be sufficient to fall within that range, but if the public complaint is about the disturbing noise.
Well, the disturbing noise is when you get the call.
Correct.
But what I'm saying is, the way this is written, the way we enforce it, is it has to meet as criteria of a violation.
Midland's
Any
ordinance,
provision,
Midland's ordinance, all it states is and this is the whole noise violation ordinance. It shall be unlawful for any person to create, assist in creating, permit, continue to permit the continuance of any unreasonable, loud, disturbing, or unnecessary noise within the city. So it's the officer's discretion.
That's exactly how ours used to read, essentially. But is it the officer's discretion or is it the complainant's discretion? What if the officer gets there and to him it's not?
To him, it's fine.
It doesn't-
but
And it
to-
doesn't disturb him on any of the night.
Well,
It's just.
That, and see, that's what I was trying to take away, was the officer having to make that call, you know, because that's a tough call to make.
Well, with things, with the with the way things are right now, you know, and people being off work, et cetera, you could have that angry person go over there, and next thing you know, you've got a killing instead of a bad noise.
Very much so.
So.
Or at the very least, you've got an assault, you know.
Exactly. Or trespassing. Of course, you know, I just stand out there in the middle of the street with a megaphone. No, I'm just kidding. But I am not trespassing.
Well, I agree with you on that. I think maybe it should take it out of the officer's discretion so that it's black and white.
With the decibels, it's black and white.
But we have to just get it down to a point where hopefully it's not
Unreasonable.
well, it's not unreasonable. People can still have music going in their homes or in their backyards or wherever they're having it. But it's just, you're basically making them have a little common decency, right? You're forcing them to be decent.
Until they're hit in their pocketbook, it's not really gonna make a whole hell of a lot of difference.
And you're right, but as it stands right now, at least with the few that they've dealt with over and over and over again, out of this 21, there's probably 20 of those that were the same couple of places, and they're within the limits that are currently on the ordinance. So that puts us in a bad spot because we can't enforce that.
What do you think? It's just the type of music they don't like?
I do not.
No, it's not.
Well, because.
And honestly, if I felt that way, Larry, I wouldn't be here asking this.
The reason the 65 decibel or the 45 at night, 50 at night or 65 during the day, they're reading it, it's just that it's not going over to the point that it's enforceable.
Why is that?
And we need,
And honestly, I mean, that is a consideration, right? Is it because it's Mexican music that's playing that's causing people to have heartburn? I don't believe it is. I don't think
or
that
foul
that's.
language or anything
No.
like that. Yeah.
Well, no, there's certain music I don't care for, at any decibel.
Yeah.
So are we good with the numbers that he's proposed?
I think that
I would do 50.
I'd go 50 and 45, but that's me. I mean, if you're gonna move it down, you might as well move it down where it makes a difference.
Well, if we dropped it 10 on each side and we worked with that for a little while to see how it goes, it's not like you couldn't come back and revisit that.
Comes to 40 and 55.
40 and 55.
True.
And see how well it goes.
What do you mean? Oh,
Yeah, do
Now what?
do 40
The
and
10
55.
PM to 9 AM is gonna go from 50 to 40, because 50 was your previous, so we'll drop it
right,
down.
yeah, I wasn't even really looking at
Yeah,
that.
so
So
we'll
that
do
one
that,
go to
this
40,
40,
And the other one go to 55?
55.
Because most of the complaints are gonna be at night, correct?
Most complaints that we get probably start around 9 p.m.
So you're gonna go with 55 on the 9 AM to 10 PM?
If you do 10, because it was 65 this time.
Well, see, that's the one I thought 45 was okay, and the 65 should go to 50. That was where I was going.
Okay.
So,
I think the daytime is just detrimental as it is during or at 9 o'clock at night.
Well, see, and that's what
Most of them are gonna drop them both.
is the 55 and actually have.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I would drop that
So
one
you have to, that's
to 50.
You wanna drop it 15 points?
Yeah, they 45.
Yeah,
40 or-
Jimmy's got an example here of one, I'm assuming it's probably an ordinance that they're discussing, but it's 55 during the day and then 45 at night.
55 from 6 AM to 9 PM and 45 from 9 PM to 6 AM. their ordinance.
Who's there?
It doesn't say hood.
It's ours, if it's the one that's the ordinance 20.
No. This
he's on
is just I
No,
Googled.
he's
Oh, you're on a different one.
yeah,
Yeah,
He's on a different
He
one.
Googled it up on there.
Well, I don't want
I
people
would
to
do
sign.
40 at night, however we wanna do.
Anyway, you can make a sign.
So A was 40 and then the other one was 55?
55.
But
10
did
p.m.
you adjust the footage also?
Well, now,
The truck stop's not, I'm sure not 65, but I can hear it 5 blocks away at my house. Early in the morning, when I go out on the porch, I can hear them.
Oh, when they're all going to work?
Yeah, the pilot,
That there's a shower available.
there's a shower, number 52, there's a shower available.
I can hear that at my house too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's, I mean,
I mean, we can hear the rancho at night.
Oh, yeah, if the wind's out south, you can hear that Roncho.
Yeah.
you know, the footage may do as much as the lowering of the decibels.
well, we're already at the curb line. You can't go any closer than that, because then you're getting on private property.
55. So,
Yeah, but they're not in the middle of it, they're on their fence. So you're closer, the neighbor's closer to it than
So what do you
what they're gonna do. I had problems with my neighbor at 11 o'clock at night, but I fixed them at 4 in the morning. All you gotta do is just play the music right back to them at 4 in the morning. They don't like it any better than you do.
We go with the new ordinance with A being at 40 and B being at, I'm
If
sorry.
y'all will look at the enforcements, I know Liz and I were discussing that too, if y'all can just take a look at the enforcement times in the second paragraph too, so y'all can make it all at the same time, that'd be fantastic. Just to clarify that the 10, you're gonna have, this is violations of the ordinance after 10 o'clock PM, Sunday through Thursday, so we're addressing the week, during the week, right?
Right.
And then at 11:59 on Friday, and 1 o'clock AM on Sunday. So basically, that's your Friday and your Saturday night.
Why
So,
are we going an hour later on Saturday?
It
Because,
was just a matter of,
because of the, with the,
I'm just, we were still thinking it was.
the community building, because the community building, say,
That wasn't
it
last
could be
call.
open till 1, but that's just, I think the deal, the bars and everything can be open till 1, and so what they.
Well, the county,
We don't have bars.
the county park by order is midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
You can't, they can't go past midnight.
Yeah.
But if you take, like, say the Rancho, if they're having a sanctioned event at the Rancho, I mean, 1 AM is the time frame there. And even though they're not considered in the city, they're encroaching on the city. And so I think the 1 AM was to make some leeway for that.
Yeah, but they
In
would
the
just
event.
go all night long.
In the
So
event.
do you have a suggestion on time?
well,
The way it's written,
well, that's the way it's been written into the ordinance. Liz and I were just addressing the times. I just want to make sure y'all are good with that.
If you back the time up, the daytime times, back that up an hour.
9 o'clock,
That could potentially help.
Well, it's already from,
It starts at 10.
10
It
o'clock,
needs to start
Oh.
at 9.
yeah,
okay?
9 p.m.
9
to
o'clock?
9 a.m. and
9 to
then
9.
9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
yeah, 9 to 9. Yes, because 10 o'clock's too late for them to be out there.
Okay, 9 o'clock.
I'd probably be out there. I
Well,
mean, I've had parties at my
so-
house. I have to.
No,
We're nice.
it's not.
We're nice with the music.
It doesn't matter to me, I mean, as far as people wanting to be out in their yard until 1 o'clock in the morning. But you got kids that go to
It's
bed.
bad that
9
in
o'clock.
school,
You
yeah.
know, they got school.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I think
9 to
go
9.
back and go from 9 AM to 9 PM.
And then 9 p to 9 a.
Yeah.
And then also, for the ease of trying to just, is it, if you're out enforcing it, Friday night is 12 and Saturday night's 1. Do you wanna make them the same time?
I think you ought to go 12 all the way across.
They're going to that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do, repeat what you just said.
Friday night
Oh,
is
yeah.
12 and Saturday night is 1.
Yeah, just make them both 12.
That's up to y'all, I was just asking for ease of convenience for
If you
your
made them both
enforcement.
12, even if they're on the Rancho, you said they're outside city limits, but they
They encroach.
on
They
the,
encroach on the city, so as long
they
as they stay.
encroach on the
No,
entire.
no.
Well, I was gonna say, they've had parties and I can hear them in front of cars.
No, you're not.
I'm not complaining about.
You gotta leave them 1
I'm just
o'clock.
complaining, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry?
You gotta leave them
I can
at
hear
1
it all.
o'clock.
Well, because quite honestly, if they're having a dance at the Rancho and it's an event that they paid for down there, we're not gonna go shut them down at midnight.
Yeah.
That's why.
They're going to 1 AM and that's just the
Okay,
way
well,
it
then
is.
just leave it like it is.
Technically, they don't have to follow this ordinance because they're outside the city limits.
Well, no, but it could still
Yeah.
affect them if we chose to enforce that.
It's gonna affect the people that live right inside.
Well, yeah,
the
it's gonna
city
affect
limits.
us.
This is,
Right.
yeah, this is mainly for the city limits.
Loretta, did you have something?
Oh, I was just gonna say at our July 4th event, we only let the bands play until 12.
But that, like I said, that's a county order.
Yeah,
So the county made that rule
right,
that you can't use the outdoor stage until, midnight is the time.
okay.
So who makes it war for the Rancho?
The long-term,
Rancho.
It's a private entity.
Yeah, they own their.
It's a private club.
Yeah, it's a private, it's not a club, it's a event center. But I guess it's a club, but I think, when
Well-
you say private club, I think of whiskey and then
No,
going
no,
in.
no, they
and
pay
club,
membership.
you know.
They pay
Oh, they
membership
pay-
yeah.
to be a part of,
Oh,
and then they rent the facility out,
Yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
I just think of a private club as,
like the V used to.
yeah, or
So that was-
a club. I guess I think of a club as a place to go dance.
They
and
are,
party.
but the county doesn't have an order in place
To shut that.
to shut that down. The only order they have in place is for their outdoor stage in the park.
Will yours do that?
So we're just looking at,
I
we're just looking at
switched
going
it. I
99,
understand
95.
that. I couldn't put it down, I couldn't do nothing.
Weekends alone.
But you're satisfied with it where I'm at.
And so this will need to go
I'll take
through
them, too.
the same process, correct? I mean,
Yes.
go through readings,
This will be the,
rewrite, and all that good stuff, so.
you make a motion tonight.
So what did we start on, 40, 50?
40, 50, 99.
40, 50.
49P to 9A, 50, 9A to 9P.
So yeah, that they make that motion and approve that, and on the next reading, it will be the final read because we're approving changes right now.
So, like I said, my deal, just when we do get it, the final approval on it, shoot it to me and I will have them
It'll
start.
be November 10th.
And I hope this gets where we can hit them in the pocketbook, so maybe they.
No,
And they might get a ticket or
a
something.
lot
so
of the deputies have been pretty frustrated with the fact that they haven't been able to write a citation
or a warning or
because
something.
they're right there at that 65.
Well, they're tired of going to the same place.
They're in the same place,
Time.
and there's nothing they can do against it.
Yes. It's very frustrating.
I tried, I'm out. Go ahead. Make a motion.
Oh, I didn't know I was. Okay, I make the motion of changing the ordinance number 20111-0-01 noise ordinance.
To include changes,
Section 9.
Yeah,
Of
40
section
for,
yeah.
40 decibels, 9 PM to 9 AM, 50 decibels from 9 AM to 9 PM. And do we need to include the,
No,
No.
that's not the same.
He's okay. He's just gonna change.
everything
A and
that's 9 o'clock.
well, I meant the enforcement.
That will be changed to 9 o'clock during the week, from 9 to 9.
Okay.
Same as the, right, it's the same as the, it's the same.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Alyssa and a second by David to change the decibel level of the noise ordinance in section 9 to 40 decibels from 9 PM to 9 AM and 50 decibels from 9 AM to 9 PM. Was there any other discussion?
And it shows on here that we're taking out section 8.
Yes,
We
that's
can't even
correct,
yell
it's
at
slaughtering
each
the
other.
vendors.
I think that's gonna be addressed in some stuff that will be coming up.
You got walls in your backyard.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who seconded that?
I didn't think
Thank you.
I'm not opposing, I just didn't get a chance to say aye. I was sitting there reading it.
Thank you all
Thank
very
you.
much. I do appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
See y'all.
All right, move to item number 11, discussion action on purchasing a storage building. Sherry, after some looking, decided, correct me if I'm wrong, that they don't really need a storage building for the supplies that we'd be getting in through the CARES Act, but they do need something to store the brand new Christmas decorations that we have coming in. That, because the building out here is just not gonna cut it, it's not. So,
Can you put this building inside that building?
No, I don't think so. It's, that, you would have to take all of that, no, this is gonna
Okay,
be
I
too
need
big,
that.
yes. We do have a place for it, doesn't have to be climate controlled.
Right.
We got creative in thinking about different products and things that we were getting and how we can take care of that without having to have any climate control, because it'll be in the building here. But those Christmas decorations, we got them in and I spent a lot of money on those, and they are large. And we have no place to put them, and they are on the floor right now currently.
Yeah, and they get real dusty back in there.
They do get, and that was, I looked at all of that too, and, since that, you really can't house anything, we'd like to go and clean all that up and get it moved to where it needs to go, and tear off the sides of that building and let people just park there because it's, stuff in there's just dusty and nasty.
So keep the roof of it, but
Yes, ma'am. Keep the roof on it, move some things over to the storage up top, move some things out of the closet over there. We'll be able to house the things that need to be climate controlled.
Yeah, there's a lot of storage over at the city storage.
Yes,
place,
it's filled
but-
up quite a bit.
Yeah, but they can rearrange
Yeah.
and store a lot.
Some of those items won't fit through the door over there. So
the Christmas night.
the Christmas items won't fit through the door over there. So it's gonna need to have,
It'd be Christmas, right?
yeah, some of them won't.
Sherry, this building can't be repaired
That's,
as far as sealed up or door?
that's up to y'all. I was asked that question, and so
I
Yeah,
did it in pretty bad shape.
It is, and you'd have to do a lot more work.
it's bad.
And when they asphalted, when they asphalted back here to, we had the old water tower was there. So when they got ready to do the asphalt for this, they got down there to do the cleaching and everything, and still had the cement, the 4 cement, deals that the first water tower sat there, because they just covered them up. And so they had to go there and dig them out and do one of those jackhammers and jack them down enough to where they could get this asphalt level enough to otherwise it was just gonna be, they're just gonna fall in. And they asphalted around the outside of that building, and it probably has water and everything else in right too.
It's in bad shape. I assumed with as expensive as tin and all that, and metal and all that is, it would be more expensive, also including the labor of the guys pulling them away from going to do that, then you're hiring a third party to do that. Versus if you got the best value on one of the metal buildings over there that Crystal has, that y'all asked me to check into locally. Because the largest building she has is 3,925. That, and it's got the doors, I mean, it doesn't have the slide up doors, it's got the wide doors that open this way. I haven't priced recently other commercially just for my home, and it's very expensive. I just assumed it would cost more to do that than it would to buy that building and have it set. But you tell me.
No,
I'm
I'm
actually need
wondering
two
about
more.
that building. I know that these tin buildings are like tin cans. Unless they're
8 by 12, is that what?
enforced.
Right,
And
right. That's right.
I think that area would be best used for parking. The 2 employees that have to park their vehicle out in the weather that we've recently added, or one of them.
there are
recently
two.
And the other
employees that do it.
ladies already have parking, and their vehicles are covered, I think it'd be cheaper to to go with one of these instead of having to redo that.
I haven't
And
seen
seeing it and sealing it and insulating it and stuff.
It's not,
your
I don't
stuff.
think it's insulated either. I think it's just, I think it's just studs with tin.
That's what it is.
Correct.
Okay, I was just gonna comment on that. We just had our, little storage building over at the chamber, office done. And we put electricity in there, and then we had spray foam in there because the same reason we, things in there got dirty and stuff, and so we're gonna move everything out of, the building. And it cost us about $5,000 just to put the electricity and the spray foam, I think was about $2,000. So if it's just $3,000,
That's a lot bigger building.
That's,
What size are we looking at?
I was just looking at the bottom, that's 3,925, it's a 12 by 24. There's obvious other,
Doesn't say that.
sizes there. And she does have
Well,
one out on
the one I
plastic
got from
one.
Altos that's in my backyard, it has a window in it, but it has a garage door.
Mhm.
And it's I wanna say it's 8 by 12, or 12, is it 8 or 10? It's probably a 10 by
10 by 12.
12 foot,
I bet that's
12 or 14 foot.
Might be
12 foot
14.
wide.
Oh, well, length. I was
Yeah,
talking about length,
yeah.
and it was 42 brought and delivered.
Okay.
I mean, but it has no insulation or nothing. See,
Right.
it's just studs with tin. There's no insulation, anywhere in it yet. Maybe in the future, but not right now.
Any of the Christmas stuff or anything that you're wanting to store in it, you don't have to have,
Climate control.
yes. Keep cool or keep warm,
Yeah.
okay. Because keeping warm,
Everything's
if
metal,
they're,
everything's LED light.
okay.
Basically just fill the dirt and rats out of it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's another thing I would worry about over here is the rodents getting in there and chewing up where this has got the hard floor on it, it's totally enclosed. That's what I would worry about, is also protecting, because this is a lot of high dollar Christmas stuff for, you don't want any rats to chew all the bulbs off or wires apart.
And
That was just my thoughts.
were you wanting the 12 by 24 or 12 by 20?
To be
It's $325, yes, agreed.
$39.25 is 12 by 24. That's the first number you came up with, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This, I did not realize how large or how much room those decorations cover too. I was trying every way I could not to have to do anything for storage. In fact, I went over to Jimmy's and I'm like, can I use your storage? We just put him over there. Well, he's got his own thing coming in, all these big boxes coming in from the EDC beautification stuff coming in. So all that storage is taken. I've talked to Juan about it. I've looked everywhere trying to find places where we don't have to buy anything else.
How about,
I don't know of anything
would
else.
they fit in that building as far as the height?
Or maybe?
Yeah, I hadn't bought on a sea container. I just got it from her
Right.
because she's
Yeah,
local.
I just thought of one.
And when I went in and asked her
Yeah.
about, her stuff,
Yeah.
this is what she handed me.
But they have a tendency, if they get too hot and can't vent, they have a tendency to, things have a tendency to mold, especially if you have a lot of boxes in there, because boxes have
That's why
moisture.
I'm gonna take
And
it.
if you
Yeah,
have moisture, it's going to escape over a period of time. Less boxes you have in there, the more tubs, you're better off.
Because I had that happen to my sea container.
Yeah.
So, and it gets.
Well, I don't know why I
a
brought
lot.
it up. I mean, it's really new to what we're talking about, but anyway, I thought I'd voice my opinion.
And if y'all have any other ideas, I'm open, because, I'd rather not spend the money, but I just know we've made a large investment, and I don't want it to be all for naught, because we didn't take care of the product itself. Yes, ma'am.
Well, there will be room, in addition to those Christmas decorations being stored in there, that we could store other items in there as well. Things that don't have to be climate controlled.
I'm sure. I mean, we
So,
are running around.
It's not
we have
just
space for
for the
most
Christmas
things.
decorations. We don't have storage here inside this building. We've got 2 closets and that's it.
And that's what you're gonna do with
Yeah.
the CARES.
No.
This-
Here's
well,
the
the-
state.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that you're gonna put it in one of these closets.
Yes, and we're moving a
Yes.
lot of stuff out.
And we'll move, because one closet is occupied by the maintenance, the cleaning, all of her cleaning supplies, and the rack, the server, the telephone equipment, all of that. So there's no room in that little hall closet. The big closet's the only place we really have storage right now.
For the largest building, it's $3,900.
There won't be sales tax, will there be sales tax?
No, we're
It's in the
taxing
city,
it.
yeah, it's a tax, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I make a
Will there
motion.
be shipping charges?
I asked her if there was anything else, and she said everything's right here, and there's not a shipping on here. So it's this, so I'm assuming it's gonna be that, because she said it's all right there. So, good. She does have this one over there, so y'all, if y'all wanna see what we're talking about before y'all make a decision, it is over there, and if y'all wanna look at it.
What
I
is
just looked
there
for the
a cost
cheapest
difference to get a roll-up door as opposed to?
I believe there is an addition, because it does come like this, so if you do wanna get a roll-up door, it is gonna be,
Between 500 and 550.
But I will tell you about roll-up doors, it doesn't seal good on the sides, nor does it seal, so then you're gonna end up with a lot of dust in there, because these storages that are over here by the liquor store have roll-up, and then they're dirty as damn storage
mine
buildings.
is too, and I don't like that too.
And those
I like these
roller
doors right
things
here.
that work on break a lot.
Yeah. I think this door is fine.
You know how that is.
All right, just checking.
I make a motion that we go with the 12 by 24 size building, for the metal.
I have a motion by Robin, a second by David to authorize Sherry to purchase a 12 by 20. Is there any other discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Move to item number 12, discussion action on Corner Building LLC change order number 2.
Okay.
Now, these are two different ones, are they different properties?
No, she sent you an updated one that's.
One is corrected. The one that's corrected is going to be the one that ends in $2,010.75.
Okay.
That's the correct copy. So, and which we'll go a little bit more in my director report.
I don't have a little, I don't know.
No, this is,
This is.
Johnny, is another one?
Oh, it's on my table?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't, yeah, I just, okay, got it. So this is another, okay, gotcha.
So when the beautification committee met last week, we kind of discussed some of the different businesses that have been in business in Big Lake for quite a while and had been helping us out. The Wildcat did come up as one of the main businesses that's helping us with the brochure and doing all the service that they've been doing for us, helping us out with the EDC. The beautification committee did decide to go ahead and put them into the beautification partnership. They have 4 pots out in front of their place that they got through the EDC grant that they received that are just, there's nothing in them, there's just some dead weed looking things in there. So we went by, we asked Nana to make a change order to go ahead and put it into the beautification partnership, and this is what we've come up with. All 4 pots will have a combination, she can tell you how she's gonna do it, but the stock, the mums, the cabbage, pansies, snapdragons for the 4 pots, the revitalizer. And then on the labor and supplies, that's where the difference in the 2 sheets that y'all got, because we're already 3 weeks into this, so she adjusted that to take the 3 weeks that we're already out of this. So that's why there's a difference in the 2 prices. But this is, y'all can either, Sherry explained to me what you were saying about they could do the monthly or just pay it the one time on the
We have the contract for the existing 25 sites we have, and so in that, it does say that we do have to allow for change orders with those added sites. And so since the contract is already a given amount, we can do two things. You can approve this, and we can go ahead and pay for everything, and that'd be including paying for the work in advance. Or Nina can add that much to the invoices every month, and we just do it that way. What is your choice?
I would prefer that we bill it out monthly, so if something was to happen somewhere down the line, or something that we haven't been paid for something that we did not do.
So you can do it one or two ways. We just put everything in here so you know what it's gonna cost to maintain it every month.
So this one right now is to get it started.
This is to get them into the beautification, so they will be on a weekly maintenance, just like
How
all the
big are
rest
these
of our
pots? They big?
They're,
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wondered, $2,000, like
They're
they're bigger
pretty
than the ones I got in my backyard. I'm
It's
just kidding.
It's that stuff
I'm
over
just-
there.
Yeah, I don't go over there. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to see the look on your face.
I don't care how big.
I make a motion to approve the project change request number 2. The beautification project.
Bless you, bless you, bless you.
$2,010.
I have a motion by Robin.
Sorry, I was sneezing, did you say monthly? Paid out monthly?
I just said for this number 2, for this amount.
Because the 1837 is for 12 months worth of maintenance.
correct. That breaks down to $37.50 a week, 52 weeks. Well, actually, it's 49 weeks.
Takes out $153.13 a
Correct.
month.
Correct.
Okay, so do you wanna do the whole thing, or does she wanna do it monthly? You're gonna have
Nina
to,
said she
Nina would
do-
rather do it monthly, so we're gonna have to include that.
What I would do is just add that on to the maintenance contract bill every month, but y'all wouldn't be paying for it all now, because something could happen. What if I
Yeah.
don't
So we're
fulfill the
gonna,
contract?
we're gonna approve the total amount, but she's not gonna bill that total amount. for
Correct.
the monthly
Okay.
installment.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
You're still approving the total amount, it'll just be come out monthly. It'll be added on your monthly insurance.
She'll bill as service.
We're only gonna put into pages those first 3 lines, and then the rest we'll just do it on the monthly side. But I think approving the whole change order, saying we're gonna approve the monthly, and we're also approving what's going in there will work. But we'll just internally put it, we'll internally do it as far as payments.
You're just-
Gotcha.
You're approving the
Yes.
total amount.
Yes.
I have a motion by Robin,
I'll say.
a second by David to approve the Cornerstone Garden change order number 2, in the amount of $2,010.75. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Abstain.
Anyone abstain? All right, item number 13, discussion or action on employee vacation compensation.
Well, put this in here, and then, realized that my thought process was not correct in what I was thinking. Because, I'm gonna use this year as an example. And according to our employee manual, is every vacation that our employees accrue and utilize has to be done and completed by November 15th before the holidays. Okay. So I've got several employees, due to COVID this year, has given up a lot of vacation time, and we're trying to just now fit this in. So my request, instead of asking for a reimbursement as far as financial, that's not what I'm asking, but maybe the extenuation of their vacation to be able to use it, and to look at changing them not to be able to use their time at any, they can use it at any time except for the week of Christmas and the week of Thanksgiving. That opens up 2 more months so they can get their time in, because I know, our year ends in October, and then we fall into the end of the year, and it's been pretty tough. I understand Karen has done that several times, has given up some time. We've got our judge who's gonna be giving up time this year. I'm just asking for the last couple of months of the year to be utilized to be able to use their vacation time so they accrue, so they do not lose it.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as long as is they don't all try to do it at once, or there's not too many people going at the same time.
Right, and that is true. That is one of the things that, especially at Christmas, nobody can take off.
Well, there's the handbook, I think states something where people take it off at the same time.
Yeah, they have to go to
Yeah,
their
so-
supervisor.
So it's in the
and have to-
handbook and they
Yeah,
put it on the
yes,
calendar.
Well, but if we grant them to be able to go, take the, grant the exception, then we're making the exception.
So what kind of exception are we making?
Well,
I'm
if
lost,
you're-
now I'm lost.
You're freeing up the last 2 months of the
Yeah,
year,
but
which
that's
is.
for always, but not just exception right now, right?
Well,
I'm gonna ask for it to be permanent.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
no,
Yeah.
I'm with this, and it's something to think about.
Yeah.
This is an extenuating
I never liked
circumstance, that's 1 in 100-year deal, that if they can't use it up, could they roll it just for next year? Roll a week.
this
There's
year
a lot of
only.
companies doing that
Yeah.
because of what's happened this year,
Yeah.
2020.
Yes, that was my other, question is if y'all would like to roll it into the next year. But.
I think they should have an opportunity because of what's happened in 2020.
You think you want to do that as an exception for this year?
Mr. Mayor, do you mind if I'm included just in the discussion part? Because I know Sherry's referring to me specifically also because of this. I canceled my vacation in April. I did that willingly. I was not asked to do that. I did it because that was at the very beginning of all the COVID stuff. I was supposed to be on vacation this week. But since they moved my deadline up to November 13th, again, I willingly canceled my vacation for this week. I was not asked to do that. I don't care anything about the reimbursement because after November 13th, I'm gonna wanna take a little time, but I have no intention of utilizing that time in conjunction with a holiday. That's not my purpose on this, because I understand that it's not fair to other employees because they would not have that same opportunity. Unfortunately, I feel like my vacation leave has been very much impacted by dealing with the COVID-related matters. Karen's job has also been affected. She gets 1 week more a year than I do. So I don't think, I know Sherry's wanting to make changes right now, and I admire her for that because this is something that we probably needed to do for some time, is look at this policy. I think Karen and I both are in agreement that we just want the opportunity to have our time.
Sure.
When we can take it,
Of course.
when it's convenient.
I have a question of, what is the deal with November the 13th or 15th?
That's
Why,
always-
I know it's always been
It's
there.
always been a cutoff.
Well,
I know,
November
but I
13th
just
is
wanna know what's the reasoning
the
behind
CARES
it.
thing.
No,
this is
I know,
not
it's just
policy.
CARES, it's the policy in our
Yeah.
Yeah,
handbook.
that's what she
I
said.
understand.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with Donna, I just wanna know, why does the city wanna do it that way?
I don't know why it was written in the policy, other than I think there was concern that people would be using or trying to get off during the holidays.
And then they would take,
They would
but
take.
isn't there something in the handbook where you can't take 3 days before a holiday,
Yes, it
or
is.
2 days, or something like
And
that?
you
So,
cannot take any vacation leave after November 15th.
yeah, do you know the reasoning for that?
What I was told
Okay,
is that because before they put that in place, there were too many people wanting to take their vacation time in conjunction with the Thanksgiving holiday and the Christmas holiday. And it left the city with a skeleton crew.
right, okay. So, but there's also that policy where you can't take it out. You can't take your vacation so many days before a holiday, and there's something in that, in the handbook in reference to that?
Not in this
No.
vacation part, no.
That was a,
Just for
Very
days
cool.
off or something like that? I thought there was.
The only
something
thing it
there.
says, an employee shall not be allowed to take a day off with pay prior to a holiday in anticipation of working on the holiday.
Okay,
So that's why
That's
we're saying you cannot take any time off during the holiday.
Yeah.
That week of the holiday.
but, so
So if you work for the city, you can't go home on the holiday.
Well, they do get
They
the
go
day,
holiday time, but they
They
can't
get plenty
take
of
a
holiday
vacation. In
They-
other words,
Can't
go
they can
extra
go
time.
home, they just can't go out of Big Lake.
So you just can't stay
Wednesday,
home.
yes, Wednesday, okay,
Yes.
Wednesday they get
This year they'll
the
get
new,
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
yes, that's correct.
Which
Christmas
is
Eve and
great.
Christmas Day, and the day before Christmas Eve.
But
That's 3
see,
days.
see, this time it runs into where it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but then they have the weekend, which is Saturday and Sunday, so that gives a decent time.
Yeah.
But when it falls on a Monday, and you get, say, Christmas Eve falls on a Monday, you're gonna get that Monday, and then Christmas Day, and then you're coming back to Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
See,
Or at Christmas
Yeah.
on the weekend.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if it falls on a Sunday, like a Saturday or something.
You just
I think that you can, y'all figure it out, I guess. It's just what,
I would like to be able to extend that where
I
they
think
can
it-
use
yeah,
vacation
I think so
to
too.
the end of the year.
yeah, as long as they,
Without those
you,
2 weeks and,
Without
those
those
2
two
weeks and.
Blocking up those 2 weeks.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
what about New Year's?
But not carry it over to the following year, is it?
I was
think,
gonna
no, I think this year we can make an exception as far as the carryover. And then, but going forward, be able to utilize those vacation days with the exception of Thanksgiving week and Christmas week.
As long as, you gotta think about this, as long as whoever might be taking those vacations, there's somebody else here that can do their job. Cause if somebody has,
Well, you're not gonna have
That's
enough
not fair to
municipal
me.
judge.
as long as somebody has, say if they have 2 or 3 weeks of vacation time, if they wanna take those 2 or 3 weeks, plus their upcoming 2 or 3 weeks, if they choose to do that, whoever's taking off, all that work that they are doing, normally when they're here, it's not gonna get done.
Well, they should be able to roll a week.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody in
Are
our
you just talking
entire
about
setup that
rollover, or are
doesn't.
you talking
Well,
about?
no, that's what we're talking about. Well,
Well, you're not, okay,
I'm not saying anybody's gonna do that.
but that's gonna
You
be approved.
understand what I'm
That's
saying?
gonna have to be approved anyhow.
all of our employees just take 1 week at a time. They do not take 2 weeks vacations back to back to back to back to back. So that does not happen.
Okay, you understand what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes, I understand what you're saying.
Like I said, I'm not saying anybody would do that.
But, I mean,
That's always gonna come down to supervisors,
Okay,
discretion anyway.
okay.
Either Sherry's or she's not here, Juan's or whoever's,
because it's not broken down in this employee manual, that you can only, or handbook, that you can only do
But
1 week at
the
a
comment
time.
was just said, well, that's not fair to
Well-
me. So that means somebody might wanna take 2 weeks at a time.
Well,
No.
if it's Donna, we'll
She's
just
trying-
lock them up till she gets
She's just
done.
trying to
Yeah.
finish up her vacation. She doesn't have another vacation instantly starting
And
in
I
January.
realize that, but what I'm saying is, as long as the job that's being done by whoever, not just Donna or Juan or Cindy or whoever, the job that that person is doing in the city, when they're gone, can be done by somebody else, if need be.
And that happens throughout the
If
year,
need be.
no matter what, not just in this case. It happens every day, every time we take a vacation.
That's why we
somebody's
only
got-
one
take
is
a
gonna-
week at a
It isn't-
time.
Yeah, the
that's
only one that
the-
would affect
I
would
don't
be the
understand
municipal judge,
that.
because there's not a secondary.
No, there's not, but,
But-
they, do- y'all, we do
But
have.
don't y'all
a-
have-
Well, you're saying it makes it hard on the next
Justice,
person to
you
work
all work
2
together.
weeks for somebody
There's
else.
something where
Right.
y'all
I
work
got you.
together.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
I
I understand what
I'm
you're
not trying to
saying.
be ugly,
No,
I'm
no,
just
I was
saying.
trying to.
For me to take a week of vacation, somebody had to be here to do my job.
No,
That
that's not
wouldn't
what
be-
I mean.
I understand
Yeah.
it now because you clarified yourself, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah,
I got what you're,
yes.
I got what you're saying.
yeah,
The thing with Donna's job is if she takes off, there's never gonna be anybody here
right.
to do that job.
Well, we do.
I mean-
Yeah,
We do. Melissa's
I have
trying
trained-
to train
Okay.
them, come in. We
I'm
are trying
trying
to always.
to
But-
train
to
But the
overlap
thing is your job doesn't leave the city in a bind
Right,
that can't be overcome.
Correct,
yeah,
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
correct.
So, like I said before, I don't have a problem with allowing them to carry over a week or whatever this year and then move forward from here on opening up November and December to allow them, with the exception of those 2 weeks. I've never really cared for that policy myself in the first place. But I do realize that we can't have a mass exodus on Christmas week and New Year's, on Thanksgiving either. I think it could be worked around.
Well, speaking of the supervisor, that's where your supervisor would, as people put in the request, sorry, there's already people.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's already blocked out, you know.
And there's gonna be some internal things we'll have to talk about, because it needs to be, it's not just first come, first served, but if you got it off last year,
You
guess
should get
what?
it off
The
next
next
year.
person's gonna get, a
Absolutely.
different person's gonna get off next year. You can't just come in beginning of the year, I'm
Just
here
say,
8 o'clock AM,
exactly.
you know,
Yeah,
that
I've
first
always
day.
On
done it.
January.
Not gonna
say,
happen.
This is
Correct.
where I want
So-
my vacation.
No, there will not be any of that. So there'll be some internal controls, yes.
Yeah, there has to be.
Well, I make a motion then that we extend the vacation to a week prior to Thanksgiving and a week prior to Christmas. And let the employees carry their vacation time over to next year.
For
This year,
2020.
for 2020, into 2021.
So the
Okay.
week prior than the holiday or the week of the holiday?
No, the week up to the holiday.
Like if
Basically,
it's
the week
Around the
of,
holiday.
the week of the holiday.
Yeah,
So what he's
Okay,
trying
I got
to include, to be able to take vacation in November and December, with the exception of Christmas week and Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
that's what I was understanding us doing.
In other
And
words,
he kept saying
abolish,
prior.
Well,
what
that's
you
a
just
week.
did,
Yeah,
is
we-
abolish November
The
13th.
week prior to the last
Yes,
week.
that's
of
right.
vacation.
Yeah.
Week
That's all you're gonna do, so,
And
yeah, so.
but for the
Well,
rollover,
You know, what I was just sitting there thinking, you know, you're just gonna have, just abolish the November 13th date, and then roll over the rest of the vacation to
Well, not only is it
2021, and then
November.
go back and review the handbook properly and get it in there with the wording that it needs to be.
Right, and there's gonna be some other things that are gonna need to go in that employee handbook around these items that we have found today.
Because
So
November
I just wanna
13th is
address,
the issue, right?
November
November
15th.
Okay, so I missed it 2 days.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
then
I was
adding-
out of- I was out of.
Yeah, and then no vacation of the week of Christmas and the week of Thanksgiving, and that
Yeah,
should
there's
take care of
December.
that.
Correct, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
And then we can review the handbook when we have
Yeah,
time.
I'm gonna have to work. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have a motion and a second.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to allow 1 week rollover, is that correct, for this year only? And then to open November and December for vacation with the exception of Christmas and Thanksgiving week, correct? Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Okay.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I know what everything.
Wow.
I was gonna have to get a calendar out.
Yeah,
That's why I said.
yeah, God. Oh, they moved the calendar.
Yeah, no, I'm having to go.
Move to item number 14, discussion action on citywide cleanup.
Do you need to do it, or?
Sure.
This is gonna be real quick. I'm gonna let Jimmy well, I think we did it pretty much in a nutshell. When we met with the, EDC the other day during the beautification, one of the things he already had on the agenda was trying to do the citywide cleanup, which is obviously something we're trying to do. So we came up with an idea of actually doing a citywide cleanup on Saturday, November the 14th, trying to get ready for the holidays. So I know it's a short notice, short time to get it all done, but I think we can. So we'd like to have 2 groups of 2 separate trailers. This would include 4 trailers. And when I'm talking about trailers, it's gonna be, if anybody can assist in this, this would be great. 1 trailer would be for household large items, your appliances, your large pieces, even if it's bags and limbs or whatever they've set aside. The other would be for metal specific, so that way we can haul it to the dump and we're not having to go through the trailer and sort it out by hand. We have one for pickup for the metal and one for the large items. And we'd like to have those mobile for appointments for those who cannot get out of their homes, or, you know, for those, you know, senior citizens and those, we'd like to be able to help them out. We'll roll up, get some individuals that would volunteer, maybe we'll use like the ambassadors program or some of those individuals that are needing community service, and those can be scheduled either with Jimmy's office or my office to get that done. And then the other 2 trailers would be located at the EDC property that would be stationary there, so people could get out and bring the items to us, and we'll help them get them loaded and into the trailers and take it out to the landfill. The reason why I wanted to ask y'all about it, because this is a revenue that's going to be taken away from the landfill to be able to take these items out there. I know.
Because we've taken them out there for years.
True, I just want to make, yeah, and also I want y'all to be on board so that way y'all can help promote it and maybe kind of give us a little assistance to do this. I'm sorry?
Overtime. It would cost city employees overtime. That was-
Oh,
Yeah, we've
yes,
always-
yeah, well, my thought plan was, seeing if they would, not come on Friday or not part of the day on Friday, and we would have them work on a Saturday if they chose.
I just knew that was one of the.
I was gonna
things
try
that
to
we
work that
discussed.
out as well. I don't really, most of this is gonna be, yeah, most of this, I would like to have the employee, help, because I know it can be a lot of work, if we can do it with, community members and volunteers and all of us.
So what's the problem with paying them overtime? Because I think that's what we've done in the past, isn't it?
Have we done a citywide cleanup like this?
Oh, yeah.
Love it, love it.
Yeah, it's not our first rodeo.
I mean, if we don't have it in the budget for overtime, we can do the comp time.
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they,
Yeah,
There's
I
money
think
in
so,
the
but
budget
Juan
for
would know
overtime.
more about that,
Yes.
but yeah, when what's her name, Freeman,
We did it
Okay.
last
Janet
year with the
Freeman had it.
EDC.
She started it years ago.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
No, that's
And we,
perfect.
and she gave away, she made sure she had, and they fed food and all kinds of, this ain't our first.
Yeah, we just want to be able to make it simple and get some of the trash and some of the large items of work
Yeah, we
out of
did
the
that
yards
last
and
year.
things.
Yeah.
We used to
Yeah.
have
And that
people
big
do it for
company.
community, organizations that was,
Yes.
that did several times.
Okay.
It's
main-
called Keep Big Lake Beautiful.
Wonderful. Well, I knew that was a program, but I knew that it had dissolved and
Yes.
we were
Well,
looking to
and-
pick up where it left off,
And
but
she was a believer in it too.
I didn't want to put the large
You may
bins
have a
out there
t-shirt.
because that
You may
costs
still
a
have a
t-shirt.
lot
But-
of.
It's a little bit different, the master trash that they did last year is a little bit different than what we're doing. We're not gonna be walking alleys and everything. This is mainly getting the big items, the appliances that are stuck around and stuff like that.
But you furnish trash bags, if they wanna come up and get trash bags,
I don't have a problem with that. That's.
well, I mean, that's what we used to do, we just gather in the morning and then a certain group would take certain, it's like,
It
yeah,
was
that
like-
was, and then you just gave them trash bags.
Well, I think what they're doing is having them bring it to us, aren't you?
Well, we're
Yeah.
just trying to target the large
Correct.
items that they cannot haul off themselves.
I am planning on
Well,
doing
yeah,
my
they
charging
always
about the
just
master
have
trash where we're
cities
walking this
go
stuff.
like that, yeah.
But I was waiting till spring to do that. Right now, we're trying to get these big
Excuse
appliances,
me,
the
I said, we
big bulky
pay
items.
I believe I don't think we've ever denied overtime or something like that.
If y'all are fine with it, then that's
Yeah.
wonderful. That would be great. I'd love to. But
You
I'm
might get them
hoping,
to work, I mean, you might get them to come,
yeah,
if they know they're getting overtime, that is true.
true. Well, if y'all can help us locating some trailers, I know I can probably get some large horse trailers and bring them. Got
I
one,
have
got
a
one.
trailer, but it's it's not deep, but I have a trailer.
Okay,
I don't.
any of
It's
those,
16.
yeah, that'd be great. If we fill it, we can roll it out there, dump it, and come right back.
Perfect for
or they- you know,
appliances.
that would be great. So, who do you want?
And you borrow it, I don't know if I'll be, no, just kidding. Yeah, I will be.
We can go to Mile.
I think.
Okay,
we can do that.
we'll send everything
It's
to
close
you.
to my exit there.
We'll get it advertised, we'll get it out there. Thank y'all so much. Okay.
we have to do a,
That was just more of a information. I just wanted to make sure y'all are aware of all of that.
Have you definitely?
I'm just,
Yes, ma'am.
Move to item number 15, discussion action on accounts
I
payable.
make a motion, we pay the bills, to include the minute box.
Excluding the same thing as we need to of the Lowe's pay and steps, you'll have to recuse yourself on the second one. We're excluding Lowe's.
Excluding Lowe's. Do we have anything for
No, ma'am, I didn't check
the
that.
other one? There it is.
Okay, I have a motion by Robin to pay the bills excluding the Lowe's pay and save.
Anybody else second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Alyssa. All in favor?
Okay.
You can vote on this one.
Okay,
We split it.
Yes, and then we'll make a
So,
motion to pay those,
Pay
and
those.
he has to abstain.
Yes. So I make a motion to pay those. I'll second.
I have a motion by Robin and a second by Alyssa to pay those pay and save. All in favor?
Aye.
And abstain. Okay, item number 16, the consent items. I think we have a couple of directors' reports. You ready? You go first.
Okay, as I said a while ago, we have put electricity in our little storage building. We've had foam sprayed, foam insulation sprayed in. We are purchasing some shelving for our storage room, and we plan on moving items in there soon. We voted last time at our last meeting to, we have a little leak in the roof. I called 2 different roofing companies in order to have our roof looked at. We think it's probably a gutter issue, because that's a flat roof. And so we're going to have them come and look to see if it's a gutter issue or if the roof.
Over in that corner.
We actually had that done once before when I
Yeah,
was on
it's
the
over
board.
in that corner
It's
right
always
there,
in the
by
same
the subway, right in that corner.
Yeah.
That's where it's always, yeah.
And so anyway, we're going to have that
They
looked
fixed it
at.
3 or 4 times.
And all before we start the renovation on our building. And we're hoping to do that soon, and we're gonna visit some visitor centers to get ideas and all, and hopefully get started on that. We wanna do like one complete room, maybe emphasizing the Santa Rita. Then we want to do something like, we want to use the Rookie, the movie.
Really? Yeah, okay.
And
Look, it's a good story, but there's not one thing about Big Lake or Reagan County. It was filmed around in Morris, Texas, or somewhere around Austin.
Forsyth.
And where?
Forsyth.
No, it wasn't filmed there. It was filmed in that part around Austin and Sundown Cottonfield.
Oh, really?
You got any cotton around here? And then the teacher. And you know, I'm just saying, I don't think that's I mean, it's a good story.
There's another movie
And it makes
that's
Big Lake.
actually filmed here.
What was
But
it?
Flesh and Bones.
Flesh and Bones.
A portion of it, a small portion of it.
Yeah, at the, but no.
But anyway.
I was on school board when all that was going on. I just.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it's a good story.
We might have
That's
to
it.
reconsider that.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of
maybe
people
room
do
for those
associate us
starlight
with
lines.
Well, yeah, they associate us with it, but we're not the Big Lake Owls, we're the Reagan County Owls. That's not the way it was portrayed in that movie.
Right.
But, I mean, that's fine, you do whatever you want to do, I'm just giving you my opinion. I was on school, yeah, I'll tell you all about it.
Okay.
I did want to hear
Good
it.
job.
I've heard an interesting story, actually.
Okay.
I've seen the movie.
Many times.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we are
Sorry.
So we wanted to get all that, take the renovation, we want to get started on that real soon. Then we are participating in the drive-through spectacular trunk or treat. And I hope everybody will, really kind of help us emphasize, there's not a whole lot, there's so much taken away from the kids and everything, and so we need to do something and still be safe and everything too. So that, of course, is on Halloween on Saturday, October 31st from 5:30 to 8 p.m. So if y'all can help us spread the word on that, we'd appreciate it. We are going to have the lighted Christmas parade, and we are going to get to have Christmas in the park on Wednesday, December the 2nd.
December 2nd.
Yes. And as of right now, Judge O'Brien told me that we are not to use, we're not gonna use the activity building or the community building. But we're gonna have the stage, of course, and the band, the elementary school and all like that are gonna sing and play and everything. I think Karen Dorsey's gonna be in charge of some of that. Also, we will have all the vendors and everything out in that area around. Hopefully, you know, if this COVID thing kind of comes, I don't know that it will, but by then, he told me that, you know, it possibly we might could use the community building for the craft and food vendors. I mean, craft and clothing vendors. All food vendors, of course, will be outside. And I've just sent out letters. They probably should have gotten them today. And I've already had some vendors come sign up today. So people are excited. We haven't had anything. So I think it should be a good turnout. So y'all just pray the weather's, I know we need rain, but
Not on that day.
not on that day. Yeah. So anyway, that's my report. Does anybody have any questions or anything?
We will be tending Petroleum Museum pretty quick.
Yes.
That's what I'm gonna call. It's gonna go in. I'm gonna go with her over there and do the tour and do all that.
For your visitor center, I don't know who published it or where it came from, but the book, Rankin County, I don't know if that's the name of it. Yeah, it was green.
I've got it.
If you can get any more of those to have,
Oh,
a few of them to have on hand,
Right.
that might be good to have for the visitor
Right.
center.
Well, and everyone I have looked, they t-shirts and like little memorabilia stuff like that. So we're considering that too.
Yeah.
And well, we want to put like computers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know, in for people to be able to come in and visit.
And then, also, I know she was from Barnhart, but, Alma Carbon, I believe is her name, did a book of poems. If, the Tarbins might, know if we can get some more of those possibly, to have on hand.
And I did, Bill, I have to tell you this, I did call Ann Schneeman.
Yeah.
And, so I told her I have not had a chance to go to the museum myself. So I called her and she's always been real sweet to me and everything. And so I said, sometime when you're going down there, I'll call me because I haven't been. And I told her what we were gonna do and everything. And she said, okay, I will. But you're not gonna take any of my stuff, are you? And I said, no ma'am, we sure aren't. And, yeah, and I said, no ma'am, we sure aren't. I said, but I would like to have an idea, you know, with maybe, if I could see that, maybe it would give us an idea of something we could expand on. And she said, okay, I'll call you when I have time. And I said, okay. So, but no, she's not ready to give up the music.
No. Not as long as she's breathing, she's not.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for, Jimmy?
Okay, mine's not near as interesting as hers. We did get the housing study, we got the final draft of the housing study back this week. It's been presented to the board for review to kind of go through and they want to look at the wording and make sure that there's nothing that's derogatory toward Big Lake or that anybody on the board feels like that is derogatory to the board or to the citizens of Big Lake. So I should have the okay, I'm assuming at my next board meeting from the board members, because I know everybody got a copy of the final draft for that. The abandoned travel trailer that we found over here, we did find out who it belonged to. It did belong to one of the electricians from the Family Dollar thing. Unfortunately, we had already had it towed because they did not converse with us that they were going to put it there, so they'll have to pay the $180 towing fee before they can get it back. As far as training, I leave first thing in the morning to go to Odessa for a 2-day conference for Texas High Ground. Texas High Grounds is, it focuses primarily on the West Texas area for businesses that are coming in or wanting to come into Texas, particularly to the West Texas area. Also, the good thing about going to that conference is we get a rebate at the end of the year for participation. This year we got $400 of our money back and we didn't even participate. Or let me rephrase that. I don't know if there was any participation in it. But this year I will be participating in it, so I'm at least $400 of our membership will come back to us, and the membership is $575. So that's a pretty good deal. As far as compliance goes, Kayla's currently working on the third quarter compliance. My report to the board was that everybody was in compliance and on date with payments because the deferral period has ended. However, Chandstar now is delinquent with their payment. Unfortunately, there is nothing in the contract stating that there would be any kind of repercussion. So Paige is working on some type of letter to send them, as far as a legal letter.
Page.
No, I know, Paige. Who's
Chandstar.
delinquent?
Chandstar.
Who's Chandstar?
Roberta Barrera.
Yeah, who's she? What does she have?
Burrito stand?
Rudy, no,
No, it's,
Well, I know.
it's a truck driving.
yeah, it's the
Trucking company.
Barrera. They have the water, the dirt hauling equipment and stuff like
So
that.
it's Rudy.
It's
Okay.
Rudy's wife is the one that got the grant,
Okay.
or the loan, the loan.
Oh, but are they divorced?
No.
No, they're not.
She just.
It's
her
her
name's on the
name.
loan.
Little Rudy and Roberta own 5 dirt trucks, and
Yeah,
Big
I know, yeah, okay,
Big Rudy works for Barrett.
okay.
It's Little Rudy and his mom.
As
He's fine.
Paige is on vacation this week, and so she's not around to do anything as far as legal letters or anything like that. So when she gets back, she's already aware that she will be issuing some type of formal presentation to give to them. The beautification partnership. The board did vote to grant the current bids that we have to the businesses at the end of the next year. So after this year, the current bids will belong to the ownership. However, it was granted on the condition that they join the beautification partnership going forward. And there are certain terms that's going to be drawn up as far as what it involves to be in the beautification partnership. The board did vote to, if they decided not to go with the partnership, that we would be removing the beds and the skulls. So that's a good thing. That gives us some closure on the current beds. Going forward, we'll have a partnership, and there will be closure at the end of each phase of the partnership. So the beautification committee has been formed. It consists of myself, Sherry, Loretta, Kayla, Lucy Stevens, Tiffany De La Rosa, and then we had a mistake that we thought Molly Garner was not interested in it because she never responded to us, and we just realized that we sent the wrong person, or we've been trying to contact the wrong person. So we will reach out to her to see if she wants to be involved in that. The only other one that was contacted from the original committee was Deanna Thompson. She never gave me a straight answer of yes or no. She wanted to be on there. She kept saying that she would come by and see me. And so that's why we stuck with the people that we stuck with. We do plan on, after the elections, allowing or requesting that one of the city council members be put on the board as well, on the committee as well. We're just going to kind of wait till the election goes through so we'll know who all is there, and then maybe somebody wants to be, on the committee. The committee is not a voting thing, so it could be anybody. We did have the groundbreaking for the Family Dollar thing on 9/30. We had quite a bit of a presentation there. We've ordered office furniture. It's starting to arrive. We saved quite a bit of money going with the company that we went with compared to what the board allowed us to have. I'm going to skip down to the website. I have been working with Brian, what's his last name?
Swecker.
Swecker. I'm actually going to build our website from the ground up, and it's going to cost approximately $75 a year versus the $500 to $1,500 that they've been paying. So I'm in the process of doing that right now. As soon as we can get an actual email address that is not whatever it's doing to my computer.
Malware.
Big Lake Wildcat, I know I talked to y'all about doing some educational things in the Big Lake Wildcat, and I got with JL. He is going to allow me to write an article. Actually, I can write one every week if I want to. I think that would be a little bit redundant and overbearing. So we agreed on the week after my board meeting, I will present some type of article talking about the EDC, what we do, where we get the money, and then some of the projects that we got going on, so that we're not, when they do see the Christmas ornaments sitting around town, they're not screaming that they're getting Christmas ornaments instead of working on the roads. So it's going to be a little bit of educational thing there. The promotional brochure is still going as planned. We are shooting for a December 1st product in hand date, so that we will have it available we will have a booth at the Christmas in the park. So people can ask questions and stuff like that. Any questions? Just so y'all will kind of know, this is the Beautification Partnership logo that we'll be going with. They will be on all of the ornaments. They actually sent me a picture. One of them has been completed, and that's what they'll look like.
Cool. But they come in all different colors.
Yeah, they will actually be, this is a picture of all of ours in production. We were going with the blue, green, red, and gold, and which will also match what Loretta and the Chamber ordered. They will have one big pile on top of ornaments. Theirs are a lot bigger than mine, and they also contain the 4 colors.
Where are we getting those done?
These are coming from Downtown Christmas. It actually turned into a bidding war, and they won out by like $20. So what went from a $19,000 project ended up at a little less than $17,000. So turned out pretty good. Any other questions? And as far as the beautification project goes, I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware that we did put pumpkins in all the beds, the beautification beds. So we've decided for the fall season we would do pumpkins. For the spring Eastery season, we're going to do either Easter eggs, Easter baskets, something to deal with that area. Then we will put flags out every year, and then we'll go back to pumpkins. So we'll have like a 4th season, and in Christmas we'll have the Christmas ornament.
That's good.
So I think it's showing an interest. We've had a lot of feedback. All of it's been positive on the beautification beds, and so I appreciate y'all helping us with approving all of that. So. Yes, sir.
Do you have more sculpts coming?
We do have, well, thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. We do have, pilot got approved for a beautification bed. After we all discussed it with the uncertainty right now on the beds and what's going to happen in the future and everything, we did decide to put them 3 sculpts there, which actually turned out to be cheaper than, or as cheap as putting beds in there. We got 3 sculpts that complement each other from the Morescos for a little over $6,000 for all 3 of them.
What area did y'all pick that would work well?
Okay, the entrance going in between them and Dairy Queen,
Right.
it'll be on the left-hand side as you're going in.
Okay.
That will be the easiest view from the Morescos. Did come down and look at it, and that was where we all agreed would be the best viewed area from the highway and from the town to see that area. We also, I will be presenting to the board that the beautification committee requested not only the Wildcat to receive a beautification item, but Los Cazadores, the Mexican food place.
The food bank?
Yeah, where the food bank is. So Nina and I went down the other day to look to see what we thought could go there, and we're going to present to the board 2, no beds, no flower beds. It will be 2 sculpts, smaller sculpts on either side of the sign, so that there's no
Since we talked about the food bank, Terry Stevens said that there's gonna be they're gonna have, Stangel's coming over Saturday at 10:30,
10:30, yes.
and they'll have eggs and milk. I don't know about eggs, but they'll have cheese and milk with the cold stuff along with other stuff.
They are bringing
And
tea.
it won't be taken away from, of course, they get all theirs from Nashville anyway, but there won't be nothing taken away from here, but they're gonna have different things that they hadn't had in a while.
Yeah, they have 2 cold trucks coming in.
Yeah, 2
this
cold
time.
trucks, so if you know anyone that needs food, Saturday, they'll be done.
And this Saturday, well, I
Now,
think
Porter,
we
we
have
have to look.
plans, but you don't have to be in Denver this Saturday to receive it.
It could be anybody.
Anybody will receive it. It will go to the ones that are already on the list. They will get the first pick, and then everything else will be divided to whoever shows up.
Yeah, they have to fill out an application.
Except for this Saturday.
Except for that, yeah, but, yeah, they fill out an application and then, and if they don't have an application, they fill it, but they let them get food anyway.
Right.
So it's not like it's,
When I was in
you've been in there, have
Louisiana,
y'all been in there?
Yeah.
I'm in there today, my lands, they got food. There's a lot.
I've helped several times and it's,
So it's not a restaurant anymore?
No,
Right now,
no.
she's using for the food bank, and it's got pallets and pallets of
Oh,
food in
yeah,
there.
yeah.
wow.
Terry Stevens has really done a lot for the food bank. He really has.
Cause you know, Miss
Really
Matthews
needs to know
used to have it down there at the Presbyterian Church in that little room. And you know, it expires sometimes before she gives away. You know, just saying.
But, so anyway, I
Had
am
to have more than that.
with
Hey,
Terry Friday
well,
because I am going to be involved in the passing of the food
Yeah,
bank.
Gary took
Food
my
stuff.
my cousin in down there on the Saturday.
You said you have to fill out an application. Who do you contact? So if there's anybody, there's a lot of.
Well, they're open every 2 weeks, is that correct?
Every other Friday.
Through the
Yeah.
hospital.
If they go in, they can do
Get a
that.
hold of Josie Goodluck.
It's not based by need, it's anybody. You don't
Yeah.
have to meet any certain criteria, all you have to do.
They
is
just
fill
want
out
you in the
application.
computer.
Normally,
Yeah.
I know not this Saturday.
No, anytime it's not based on need. They just have to have an application to show where they're giving the food to. So
Okay.
anybody is welcome if they fill out the
It'll be
application.
subsidized
Yeah.
by the government.
Okay.
And see, Ozana and Rankin are also in this region, so they can come over too.
Okay.
But, I mean, you know, Ozana, hell, he might not be able to afford the gas to come over here and back.
Oh, road back.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, at 137.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Okay, Sherry.
Right, real quick update on Family Dollar, we did get the drainage easement, actual legal documentation. They wanted to move forward, I did not feel comfortable with letting them move forward and doing anything that even until Paige reviews those documents. So until she gets back from vacation, I put that on hold. So we're also gonna try to do a couple things while that's on hold and then wrap it all at the same time. The sewer line, they are gonna be putting in a new sewer line that's gonna cross the street, so we'll have to get that done. And then they're looking at adding a new gas line. Just gave them the estimate today of what that's gonna cost to add a gas line, or depending on what that's gonna do, it may be propane. But anyway, that's where we are with Family Dollar. We did get it, just waiting on it. We did receive and confirm that we did get the Texas CBDG grant for that $275,000 to do that, the water underneath. So I'm gonna be loaded up with lots of educational things I gotta get done for that. So yay, we did get confirmation on that. The CARES Act Committee met this last week, and we had a really good, really great meeting, I thought, with the whole committee, and looking at some of the applications that come in and kind of what our expectations were, might have been a little off on what the public thinks this money is used for. So this is gonna have to be handled with some pretty delicate conversations. And so so what we decided was we went back to all of the applicants and said, I'm gonna give this back to you, please bring back additional information that we would need. And we called every single one and got additional information that they needed. I have 8 right now, and I'm expecting 3 more. So once those decisions are made next Thursday, then we'll be having a conversation with each one of them and letting them see the actual result of why they got it or why they didn't get it. Now, the money will also be decided that night because we're still not sure of the actual dollar amount available. We're waiting to see where we are in that last information we sent through the CARES is still pending, so I'm hoping we get a good idea. If not, we're just gonna have to be pretty darn modest in what we're gonna be doing.
November 3rd, you'll find out. What, the 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll find out on November 15th.
Yeah, it's pending till the 4th.
But, the idea is to make this a very positive thing for the community, and if individuals feel that they should get it, they don't, I'm worried about that outcome of it being a negative thing so we're gonna handle that with, a lot of discussions, but, so anyway, that's going on, obviously.
Don't put it in. Don't put your lid on.
The trick or treat thing that she was talking about, right now, I just counted up, I think we have 23 participants, so I'm hoping we do have a lot of people come out, so, from what I've been told to expect is about 500 kids to come through, that's a lot, so if any of our city council would love to donate candy or toys or, something that we're gonna hand out for Halloween, I sure would appreciate it. I know employees are starting to bring it all in. In fact, we do have employees that are participating in it, so I'm pretty excited about some of them that are gonna be in there. I took up some issues with some of our employees this past week, and one being, as we're cleaning up, I have addressed the roads going through town on both 67 and Highway 137, is that it? Excuse me. About exactly what my expectations are on the upkeep. And so rode in the pickup with Robert, pointed out the things I needed to be addressed, and so there would be no questions of what my expectations are. So they've been working on it, and I'm proud of what they've been doing. Also spoke with our code enforcement officer, and we were really talking about the trash in the yards and along with the weeds and the debris. So we're really focusing on that.
They need to drive down a few alleys, you'll see them bad boys. The oldies, they're bad. Miley's bad.
Okay.
The one over there, on Mississippi, between 10th and 10th and 9th, where my RV park, I had to drive down that alley, oh, Lord have mercy, I never saw anything like that. I wouldn't.
Okay.
But anyway, just might wanna drive down a few alleys, take a little look-see.
I will do that. Thank you for the heads up, and I will address this one as well.
I'm not saying which one's to clean, it's just.
Yeah, I will, absolutely, I
Just
sure
need to
will.
look at it.
In fact, the ordinances, as we're going, you've seen one tonight, I'm gonna be getting back on those ordinances, and so we're gonna have quite a few more coming up, and we'll be addressing those. Let's see, windows have been replaced at the Scout House, and so they look really nice. The awning should be done pretty quick, but the poor gentleman had a back injury, so we're kind of at his mercy when he feels better. New software meeting is in the morning at 9 o'clock, and y'all need to say some prayers for us because it's gonna be rough. We had no luck in getting any kind of transfer of data from the company that y'all been using for 36 years, and that's really sad.
Yeah.
They're really sad. They just have no care. If y'all been with them for that long.
Information that you need.
Nope.
Oh, they got us the information, but they have not provided us with a file definition, which, so all they've got are just a bunch of numbers and letters, and so they provided it in the CSV format, which is what we needed, but those columns don't have a definition as to what they are, a field definition.
Got all the
So-
numbers in it, to put it with.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of numbers, spaces, and letters.
So we had SunView on my cell phone while I'm on a call with the current company you use. And he's saying all this stuff while he's on the phone, and basically he's like, sorry, you got what you got. And the sad thing is we take $500 to get the information. And they're proprietary, so which means we cannot force them to give us that information. So, we're gonna start jumping in and trying to get what we can done, and so that's gonna be a lot of additional work on Karen and I and Donna, because I don't want that company that we're currently with charges this huge astronomical fee for transfer of data. So we're gonna be doing a lot of work. But it'll be good in the end, it'll be.
They're gonna charge you $3,500 to transfer it?
No.
Oh, they did.
Oh, they did,
They-
they only transferred what? You can't really tell anything. You
Don't
don't
know
feel-
what it-
Right,
It
right,
charges
yeah.
$3,500 for the
Yeah, I was lost
data.
with 3,500.
Yeah.
The 3,500 is what you just explained that we didn't get.
That we got, that we
That
can't
we
use.
can't use, okay.
On a good note, we did get all of our laptops in, am I correct on it?
We got the 4 for the office, yes, they came, I became aware they were in the office today.
And Brian will be out tomorrow so that we can start doing some transfer of files for Donna. We're gonna get started with her. So I think her computer just went kaput today. So that's all I've got. Do y'all have anything for me? Busy times. Thank y'all so much.
Just need a motion for consent items.
I make a motion to approve the consent items.
I'll second. Oh, sorry.
It's okay, you can have it.
I have a motion by Robin and a second by Dan to approve consent items. Is there any further discussion on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 17, city council request for future agenda items. If no, then we will adjourn this meeting at 8:14.
Well, let's start our meeting.